Get ready to tap into the Queen Nero's sister chat, already in progress.
An ex. He wasn't the best ex either. We had actually split up already because he was not very nice. And again, that's for another chat because I could go on about that. It was not very nice. Anyway, we split up, and I found out that he had got somebody else pregnant. I didn't have any kids then or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
literally like a few months after we broke up, and I was with this guy for about I want to say 4 years, 4 years, something like that.
4 years with the same person, that person?
Yeah,
That's a whole degree. That's a bachelor's, yo.
right. So anyway, I was young, obviously. But yeah, we split up for a very good reason. He wasn't very nice, but I found out that he got some other woman pregnant and that he was with this woman. Um, I knew where they lived, and I just saw red. So I got in my car, and I think this must have been about midnight. So I was stewing on this all day. I didn't tell
Yeah.
anybody where I was going. Got in my car. I went to the apartment where I knew they lived. I saw their cars. I keyed both cars,
Oh dear.
and at the time, for some reason, I had paint in the back of my car. I threw the paint on the cars,
Oh dear.
and then I drove and then
You
I
think,
drove home.
hold on. So you just happen to have paint, allegedly. This is the word we use.
But yes,
And you just happen to have paint, and then you put the paint on the
I
cars.
did, yeah. So
Badass.
I
I
must
love
say, the paint in my car was because I was doing an art degree at the time.
okay, that
So
makes sense. I
it
am with
wasn't
you.
like it wasn't like paint that you just put on the wall at home. This is like paint you put on a canvas that's supposed to stain and stay there for, a few decades. Um, and yeah, I chucked that over the cars,
So what
and
inspired
I
you?
drove
What
off.
inspired that art piece?
Rage,
I'm gonna say, what do you call it? A rage. You should put
rage,
You should
just
have
so.
taken a
rage.
picture of that and just call it rage.
Yeah, yeah. I was just raging, and I wanted to hurt them. I wanted to be spiteful. I literally was just out of my freaking mind. And then I went home. I obviously slept, and then the next day, I think he drove past my mum on her way to work, and he was driving his car to a garage, and he stopped, and she said, "What happened to your car?" And he said, "Ask your daughter." So when she called me, she said, "I just saw," I won't say his name, "he who must not be named.
Yep.
Did you have anything to do with it?" And I just went, "Yeah, that was me."
And you would have gotten away with that because, like I said, that's not you. That's not you. That's not your character
Was
usually.
not me.
Are you ready for my theory?
Sure.
My theory is, and this is why I don't mind being single because I'm very peaceful by myself.
Mm.
Anybody coming into my life must add to that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you are close to someone, obviously you guys know when you're intimate with someone. Women know this. It's like we become psychic. We're connected to them. We can feel it. We can feel what they feel, even if they don't say it. So somebody who doesn't have their shit together is gonna interfere with your happiness. They don't even have
And
to say anything. You're gonna pick up on everything. Do you know what I
and
mean?
then and then it turns you into a gremlin.
It can turn you into a gremlin.
I don't like that. I do not like turning into a gremlin. Don't
But
like it.
this is what I would say. The older me, the more mature me would always say, you keep that barrier up until you feel like it's safe. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because
And I also believe that you would only turn into a gremlin if that relationship is toxic.
only if it's toxic. And
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
But the
Only
I
if
had
it's
problem
to
with
toxic.
that
I had to
now,
clarify that.
the problem I see with that now is that some people have this barrier up and then they don't know when to take it down.
That's the
I'm
next.
putting my hand up for anybody who can't see me, which nobody can. My
Okay.
hands up.
So you have this experience and it wasn't a good one. Bloop, 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 bloop. There goes up my
Yep.
wall. And then
Yeah.
someone is knocking, trying to get in. Hey, anybody behind there? And you don't know when to put that thing down. So you don't know what you're
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
when it comes to relationship and love, it's a risk. You know what I mean? It could go south. It could be the best thing ever. But you have to take that chance. And I
Yeah.
find these days a lot of people are not willing to, I don't want to get hurt. And nobody wants to get hurt, you know?
I
But
think it's got to do with your experiences as well, though, isn't it?
but
So if
that's
you've had like a
life.
really, it is life. But I think if you've had a particularly bad experience, like the guy who I was talking about, who I say who must not be named, was really, I thought, the devil, because he was abusive. He wasn't a nice person. So I think when you go through something like that, then of course you're gonna build a 10-foot wall around you just to make sure it doesn't happen again. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on the experiences that you have in life. That depends on how big your wall is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I do
Do you see?
see it on both sides. But life is about experience, and all the experiences you could experience within the experiences. You know what I'm saying? So if you do not take a chance, you won't experience anything, because it makes, I guess, you'll just stay behind your wall and keep to yourself, and I guess what, watch movies or shows and read books.
Well, exactly. But that's the thing. That's what you do when you, as you get older, then I think a light bulb will then switch on at some point, because as we know, obviously you guys are my sisters, that I have recently entered into a whatever. I still can't even say it. I can't say relationship.
Let's say it together. The
Revelation
R
queen, then.
word.
Are you the
Relationship with relations.
Ugh, sounds so weird.
Yo, I'm excited for you.
I
Yeah.
know, but again, that's where I'm coming from. That's like this is a new thing for me,
Mhm.
and having to try to let somebody else in again, it's hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard.
But you would
Very,
have
very hard.
learned, you would have gained wisdom from your past situation. So you know what not to do. So you
Yeah.
know what to accept. And you know what your boundaries are. And boundaries don't have to be like a bad thing. Okay?
No.
A boundary can actually teach someone how to treat you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like a
Because
I
manual.
agree.
It's like a manual to you. This is what makes Jasmine tick. This is what Jasmine likes. This is what Jasmine hates. And this goes for everyone. You know what I mean?
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say, because of your experiences before. You
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
yourself a bit more. So you know, this is what I'm not standing for. I could
Exactly.
accept this, you know. So then you learn, it's more of I think too, a lot of people don't understand, in a good relationship, it's give and take. I
Yeah.
notice a lot of women always said, I want a real man, and I want this, and I want that. Okay, we understand you want all these things. Now you have this man and you're dealing with this man. Do you take the time to find out what it is he wants? What would he like? You know what I'm saying? We just
Yeah.
focus on what we want as a woman. You got to look, and to me, from my experience, that is what builds a good relationship. Find out what
And you
he wants as
I
and
well.
you
agree.
would know, because you've got, this is relationship goals talking, people, because
Right.
Divine Feminine has been with her husband for how many
20 years.
decades?
We two. It's 2
2
decades.
decades.
Craziness.
So
But
the cool thing is the three of us are going to come from very different perspectives.
Very, very different. Divine
Yes.
Feminine rolling on 2 decades of blissful marriage.
Divine
Me,
feminine.
me just entering some sort of situationship, relationship, whatever.
And
Maintaining your
Carissa is
peace.
maintaining her peace. Hey, you see, we're on the same page with that. Peace maintenance. And you know what? I'm very spiritual, okay? I rely on God for everything. God is my manual to this life that I'm still trying to navigate after a couple of decades. Okay. And I already asked God, I said, God, make sure I'm not interested until it's somebody that you want for me. I'm not good at picking up on clues. So I'm gonna just let God, send me an email, send me a text, send me a voice message, something, right? But as long as it just don't
That's
appear in
so
person, I'm
funny.
gonna shit myself. But yeah. So right now, what I'm doing, and I agree with what Divine Feminine said. What does he want? What does he want? A lot of times people think, a lot of times women are concerned with what do they want? What do they want? But I'm more concerned with who do I want to become? If I want somebody that's perfect-ish, because nobody's really perfect, I have to be perfect-ish too.
Yeah.
So I need to get my ish together. So when Mr. Right comes, I'm Mrs. Right too.
So,
Right?
and that's the thing. You see, saying you have to get your ish together. A lot
Yeah.
of people, to me, if you go and just ask them what it is you really want, they'll be stumped like, what is it? What do you mean? What I really want? Think about it, relationship wise. It could be work wise, whatever it is. What do you really want? And they can't tell you. A lot of people can't. It's like, yeah, I really want somebody in my life, but you want somebody for what? For the rest of your life, or you just feel like you want somebody to keep your company to go to the movies with, or you want, you know what I mean? They have all
Yeah.
kind of different relationships. There's some people who just mean I'm not ever being in a committed relationship. So if you don't ask this guy, what are you looking for? So you're thinking, I want happily ever after, and this guy is like, I'm just about a year or two in. Why waste your time? Because you're looking for ever after. So that's why you have to find out from people, what are you looking for? So early o'clock, you could say, okay, this ain't working out. If it's gonna be a wham bam thing, okay, let's do a wham bam thing for a few months. And how's your anchor and go now? Enough of that. But then you can't want forever, and he don't want that, and none of y'all know what each other want, and then you clash, and then you'll be like, oh well, I thought you this. Man, a man thought he poop and he shit, he shit. So don't start. Okay?
If you want some more, you definitely need to check out part 2.